Okay. So good morning. Welcome you all to class. Today I'd like to share with you a yin practice. Yin Yoga is a beautiful practice of cultivating stillness, cultivating silence, where we hold poses for from 2 to 5 minutes. So we will move quite slow. And it's a beautiful opportunity to bring the gaze inward, to connect with mindfulness and also grounding. So today I'll talk also about the concept of grounding, what it is, how it affects the body, and how modern lifestyle is really affecting our relationship with the earth, with gravity, with the floor, and with grounding. Good. But for now, let's take a moment to begin the day together through meditation, through attention, cultivating the presence, awareness. You can close your eyes if you're not closed already. You can rest your hands on your knees, on your lap, you choose. And begin to draw your attention to the breath. Simply observing how you naturally breathe. How the air flows in and out through your nostrils. Inviting your hips, your groins, your genitals to drop, to relax. And staying with the breath. Becoming aware of each inhale and each exhale. We are not changing the way we breathe. We simply observe. So we don't force the breath, but we are like a witness. Like a witness that is observing every breath in that you take and every breath out that you take. Breathing in through the nose and out through your nose. And simply observing what happens at a physical level every time you breathe in and every time you breathe out. If you notice an expansion, if you notice an opening, maybe you notice a moment where you drop, you land, you soften. How is the body moving in space with the breath, naturally, without forcing again? Where does the body want to go when you breathe in? And where does the body want to go when you breathe out? Maybe you notice something, maybe you don't notice anything at all. And that's also something to notice, the absence of movement. Good. And still stay with the breath. Now we will bring one hand in front of us, in front of the belly, with the palm facing down, parallel with the floor. And with each inhale, invite your hand to lower down to the floor. And with each exhale, bring the hand back up. Inhale, imagine that you're pushing like a balloon down towards the earth with your hand. And exhale, imagine that this balloon now is pushing the hand back up. Good, at your own pace. Doesn't have to be a big movement. See if you can perceive that gentle pressure underneath your hands in the palm, pressing down when you inhale, and noticing the hand as it pushes back up when you exhale. A few more times. Good. And slowly release the hands. Come back to your breath observation. Now, yes, we want to expand the body. We want to invite the body to take a big inhale. So expanding your belly all the way up to the chest. And opening your mouth, releasing the jaw, exhaling through the mouth. Again, big inhale at your own pace. Exhale out through your mouth, maybe making a sound. And one more. Out through the mouth. Good. Slowly begin to find some movements. Maybe in the head, maybe into your upper body, your spine. Maybe you want to bring your arms overhead and stretch and yawn. Good. So release. Find your way to come to tabletop. So before we dive into the yin poses, we'll take a few minutes to kind of do a warm up, because why not? It's morning and it's nice to awaken the body with a little bit of mobility into your joints. So begin with some gentle cat-cow here. Initiating the movements at the lower back and traveling one vertebra at a time until you lastly lift the head, the chin up to the sky when you breathe in. And when you breathe out, you do the opposite. You round, you initiate the movement again at the lower back, traveling all the way to the neck. When you breathe in, you arch, you squeeze the shoulder blades together. And when you breathe out, you round and you spread the shoulder blades away from one another. We are pressing down into the earth, into the ground, spreading the palms. Good. Good. Find your way to come to neutral. And from here, send your right hip to the right. Imagine that you're compressing your right side of the body and bring the gaze over to your right hip. So push your right hip to the right side. Notice a compression in the right side and maybe a little bit of lengthening into your left side of the body. Good. Back to the center and other side now. Send your hips to the left and bring the gaze towards your left hip, your left glute. Good. Coming back to your center. Spread the fingers wide, press down to the palms, send your shoulders forward towards the tips of the finger, the top of the mat, and back. Forward and back. Opening the wrists. 2 more. Forward and back. 1 more. Forward and back. Good. Rotating the fingertips to the side, so open sideways. Still in the tabletop here. Spreading the fingers wide again. Press down through the palms, and now we move right to left. Good. Nice. Bringing the fingers back facing forward. We come to our hip now. So your right knee wants to come away from you. So open the right knee to the side. And now from here, bring it to your chest, forward, back to the knee, up, and sideways. So we make circles with the knee, with the hip, right hip, out, forward to the chest, in with the back knee, and back and side. Stay grounded in your hands, pushing through the knuckles, and change directions to the other sides. Finding the stability into your arms that are supporting you and into your left glutes that is active now. Good. Release, other side. So now left knee opens away from you. And now begin to draw the knee to the chest, back to the center, backward, and again sideways. Big circles. Good. We say hello to our hips and to our glutes as well. We move slow. We are aware. Good. And change direction. We notice what is there for us to notice. I notice my arms are doing hard work as well here as I'm pressing down into the floor. Good. 1 more. Good. And release, knees down. Well done. Good. Beautiful. From here, we come into our first yin pose. Maybe you want to come to the back of the mat. Come into melting heart. You might want to use a block for this one. I'll show you. So we keep the hips stacked on top of the knees, and we walk the hands forward to the top of the mat. Rest the forehead on the mat, or you can place a block below your forehead. Allow your arms to rest. You could have the palms flat facing down on the mat, or you could have your palms facing one another with the thumbs facing up to the sky. You choose the variation you like to take. Another option will be to have your chin supported on the mat instead of your forehead. We will be here for about 3 minutes. Good. So here I'd like to talk a little bit, start to talk about grounding, what grounding is and why it's important to talk about this really, because in our modern lifestyle, what is happening is that we are constantly in a kind of contraction, in a constant tension, protecting ourselves. We are constant in this fight or flight kind of sympathetic nervous system activation. So our muscles are constantly in tension, pulling up us, pulling our bones up and away from the ground. And this obviously is might cause pain, might cause a constant tension into the muscles, which can translate also into stress or emotional blockages. And then we, of course, need to address this issue through different practices. Could be movement, could be yoga, could be breathing, could be being in nature, anything. Any practice that nourishes you, that helps you to drop the tension at a physical level, can be a practice of grounding. Yeah. So see here what happens as you hold this pose. Maybe see what happens if you take a big breath out through your mouth. See how's the body reacting to that. See if you could connect with the breath, see what happens there. Maybe by fully exhaling through your mouth. Good. Nice. Slowly, we come back to tabletop. Find your way to come out very nice and slow. In Yin, we really want to slow the pace down. So in the way we come in and out through the pose. And now we come into a twist. So pressing into your left hand, we are in tabletop. Rise your right arm up to the ceiling, to the sky. Reach up high. And then as you exhale, thread the needle. So cross your right arm through. Place the right shoulder onto the mat, the right side of the head of your face onto the mat. So supporting your head on the floor. Dropping now your right shoulder on your mat. Yes, it's good. Good. And now your left arm, you can keep it where it is, or you can choose to wrap it around your body, all around you to the back, maybe catching your right thigh with your left hand. So the goal here is to lean onto that right shoulder now. Dropping the bone to the floor instead of holding the tension up, instead of letting your muscles pull yourself up and away from the ground. Trusting the earth, trusting the floor. And resting on the bones. Minimizing really the muscular engagement here. Having your right hand, your right palm relaxed and open to the sky. Good. If your left arm is wrapped around your body, bring it back close to you, to your face. Press into the left hand to rise. Come back into your twist. Right arm rises all the way up. Reach up high. Good. And release down to top of the mat. We take a moment, tabletop. Notice the difference from right to left, if there is any difference in the sensations. Good. And now we ground your right hand, pressing into the right hand, left arm rises. Reach up high, stretch your fingertips to the sky. And as you exhale, thread the needle. Left shoulder on your mat this time. Find the same variation on this side. Whether you want to keep your right hand close to you or you want to wrap the right hand around the back of the body, maybe wrapping the left thigh, catching the left thigh. Maybe yes, maybe not. And again, leaning now onto your left shoulder, dropping the body weight to the bones, to your left shoulder and down to the earth. So what happens when we live in that constant tension, when our muscles are constantly contracting and pulling ourselves up away from the ground? It's like we create a sort of armor, right? To protect ourselves from the outside world. We are constantly in that kind of defensive mechanism that is activated. So we need to find practices that can help us shift, that can help us trust more, give more, lean more onto the bones. Shifting from the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, to a more balanced and relaxed state, being more in our parasympathetic nervous system. So in yoga, we use the breath. In yoga, we use the movement. We use meditation. But you can find I'm sure you all have your own way to feel grounded, to feel present, to feel calm. Good. Now from here, again, if your right arm is wrapped around your body, bring it back close to you, pressing into the right hand, come back into your twist, reach all the way up, left fingertips, reach up high. Good. And exhale, drop the left hand down. Good. Come into your child pose. Now, since we are a lot on our knees, I forgot to mention, but you can always place a rolled blanket or a big a cushion below your knees to have a little bit of extra padding if you'd like. And you can open your knees wide here and drop the glutes to your hips, glutes to your heels, and drop your forehead down. Come to child pose. In child pose, I always like to wiggle a little bit the hips from side to side. I enjoy a little bit of movement before getting into the stillness. And for me, child pose is also an opportunity. It's like a way to share, to honor the earth, to be humble, and to, yeah, bow to the earth, really. Good. Beautiful. So come back to your hands and knees slowly. So next one, we're coming into lizard pose. So there will be a little bit more weight on your knees here. So you can use a pillow or again, a blanket. Let's take the right foot, step right foot to the top of the mat. And if you notice a lot of pressure on the back knee, use some sort of padding there. Now we want to have both hands inside so that the right foot is towards the edge of the mat. Good. And now we want to sink our hips down to the floor. Now, let's see if we can stay within maximum 70% of our flexibility so we don't go all the way to 100% of flexibility here. You can have your hands on the floor. You can also place a block between your hands as an extra support if you like. But you could also lower your elbows down to the mat. Yeah, we will be here for 2 more minutes. Again, you're free to wiggle a little bit the hips from side to side before you find some stillness. Knowing that the best time to practice Yin Yoga is actually the morning, because our body is still quite tight because we spent, let's say, 8 hours in stillness in bed sleeping. So that's when we can really stretch the connective tissues, which are, the joints, the ligaments, the tendons, and the fascia. If we practice Yin Yoga, it's good. You can practice at the end of the day, but you wouldn't get as much benefit as you would do it in the morning, because at the end of the day, your connective tissues are already stretched, are already quite loose. Stay with me. Maybe invite your jaw to relax, to open gently. And notice maybe any shift or any change, if there is any, maybe in your breath, maybe it's a certain sensation, a twitch or a yawn or a little shake. In this pose and the next one that will come, notice if there is any response from your body, from your nervous system to this practice. And not only in the practice, but maybe notice today or in the next days. Maybe you are taking time for yourself. Maybe you are doing your grounding practice, whatever it is, which I will invite you later to reflect upon in the journaling prompts. Notice any response to your practice, if there is any, again. Okay. So slowly we find our way out. You can begin to bring the right leg back, come into tabletop. Let's take a moment, again, one more time into child pose. And notice any difference here. Notice the sensation on the right side and on the left side of the body. Is there any difference? So like the body when, for example, we eat food and then we need our time to integrate that food through digestion. I also believe that in anything that we do, in the movement practice or any growth process that we might experience in life, there is always the need of an integration phase where we allow to digest what just happened, to process it. And that's the beauty of the yin practice, because we take these rebound poses where we integrate, where we stop and observe. All right. Slowly find your way back onto your tabletop on the hands and knees. Now we step the left foot forward. If you need some padding of your back knee, please go ahead. Find the same variation so you can have the hands supported on a block. You could come on your forearms. Also, remember, in this practice, less is more. So we might our mind might say right now, you can go further, push it a little bit more. You can bring your forearms down. The monkey mind, right? My suggestion is to stay small, to play small. Again, stay within your 60% of your flexibility. Resist to the urge to, I don't know, maybe prove that you can go farther. Stay small. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy the journey. And make it easy for you. So again, connect to your breath. Connect to the pelvic region, the pelvic area. And invite that area to drop. Instead of resisting, instead of holding up tight, drop. Let go. Good. Relax your jaw. Yes. A bit more. Good. And slowly find your way back up in slow motion. Find your way back to tabletop. And again, once more to child pose. Good. Maybe in your child pose, open your knees a little bit wider, sink the hips a little bit lower. And now, as you bow to the earth, drop the body weight to the mat. Resting through your bones, so minimizing the muscle engagement, the muscle activation. How? Maybe with the breath. Maybe visualizing your body becoming lighter, maybe melting with the floor. Maybe using a mantra, maybe you can repeat in your mind's head, I am safe now, I can relax. Ah, good. Nice. Slowly coming back up, come into a kneeling position for me. And let's drop the hip to your right side. So you're kind of not symmetrical kneeling, where your feet are onto the right. I'm not sure if we are mirroring on the video or not, but anyway, your feet are on the right side and you drop the hips to the left. Yeah, you can add a little bit of extra. Maybe it would be better with a pillow, actually, to have a pillow below your sitting bones to elevate a little bit here if you need. You can also place a blanket below your feet. Good. And now from here, your right fingertips of the right hand comes onto the mat. Inhale, your left arm rises. And then exhale, side bend to the right. Good. Opening now the left part, the left side of the body. If your upper arm feels heavy, you can always bring the hand at the back of the head. There you go. So we are side bending towards the right. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Maybe you're able to visualize the rib cage on the left side and how it expands with every inhale that you take, like a balloon. So with each inhale, your left rib cage is expanding sideways, upward, backward, in all directions. Good. Slowly we inhale, we come back to the center. Slowly take your time. Ooh. Good. And come back to tabletop. Take a moment to notice the right and left sides. And then shift to the other side. So come into this not symmetrical kneeling as you drop your hips, your glutes to the right. Feeling your right sitting bones, your right glute on the mat. Now you can walk the fingertips of the left hand away from you. Inhale, your right arm rises. And exhale, side bend to the left. Again, you can keep the arm where it is, or if it feels heavy, you can bring the hand at the back of the head. And again, you can visualize the whole right side of the body. Noticing, imagining how it expands when you breathe in all directions, not just sideways, upward, forward, backward. Lengthening the whole side, right side of your body. Your neck, of course, needs to be a little bit activated to hold it up in that position, but my neck, try to keep the neck soft here. So maybe you want to nod gently the head to invite the neck. And maybe as you visualize the side of the body expanding, see if you can connect that expansion with the breath. See if you can visualize the expansion with the inhale. So when you breathe in, this balloon is inflating. Good. All right. Inhale, bring it back to your center. Good. And come back to tabletop one more time. And notice the right side, the left side, the different sensations here. Good. And let's come to seated. A last seated pose before we come into lying down. We'll come into dragonfly. So it's a wide leg seated forward fold. So again, stay within the 70% of your flexibility. Don't open your legs too wide. And here you have a few variations with props. You can sit on a block, on a cushion, elevating your hips so that it feels a little bit more accessible for you to fall forward. You can also, which I recommend, place 2 blocks or any kind of support below the knees so that the legs can be a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, they feel a little bit more at ease here. But you could also have a little bit of bend into your knees. Good. And from here first, let's move the upper body from side to side. Good. Sliding the hands onto the legs. Good. Okay. And come back to your center. Now take your hands and bring the glutes away, bring the flesh away so that you could possibly notice your sitting bones in contact with the floor or with the prop. Good. And begin to walk your hands forward. So we want to hinge at the hips. Walk the hands forward. You can have the palms supported on the mat. You could also have your palms facing up if your forearms are on the mat. And we will be here for a little bit longer. Let's say maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Good. Inviting the jaw to be open. And again, resisting to the urge to squeeze, to activate, to engage. And don't get me wrong, this need that we have to tense to engage is a protective mechanism. So this armor that we created, I'm not telling you that it's wrong to have it. I'm not telling you that it's wrong to tense because we need to protect ourselves from any danger. But the problem is that when it becomes our default mode, where we are constantly in that protecting, in that armor, when we don't take the time to let go of that armor, to drop it. So for me, a practice that is needed is the practice of grounding, right? It's the practice of finding practices to cultivate daily so that we can teach the body a different way to be. That doesn't mean and that doesn't involve holding into unnecessary tension. So that we can ultimately restore our innate relationship with the earth, with the words. And that could be, again, through movement, through the breath. It's also related to the environment that you are surrounded with, people, to the time that you dedicate to your grounding practices, to your daily grounding practices. So that we can not only move more freely or effortlessly, but also we could find more comfort in our body. So that instead of feeling tight and restricted, we feel open in our own body. And then when the body is open, then we are open to the outside world as well. So we have a better relationship to the world in general. So what is there to notice now? What do you notice in the body? Where is the tension located now? And you can even use your hands to trace on your body where you notice the tension, to touch, to bring the awareness. It all starts with acknowledging. Can you minimize the muscle engagement here? Can you use maybe a long exhale to drop a little bit more? Well done. Slowly inhale, slowly find your way back up. If you have the blocks below the knees, remove them. And bring your feet flat on the mat. Have the hands at the back of your body. Have your feet still quite wide, and we drop the knees from side to side. So have your feet even wider than your mat. There you go. So that maybe you can drop your knees fully on the floor. Ah, good. Well done. And now it's time to come down to your mat so you can lie down on your mat. As we close the session with reclined twists. So for this one, you might want to have a cushion. So we will bring the left knee to your chest, squeezing the left knee into the chest first. And now dropping your knee to the right side. So maybe here you can place the cushion below the foot and the knee so that your lower leg is supported if it's needed. And then you can open the left arm side and bring the gaze to your left hand. Your right hand, you can have it on the outside of the left knee. Ah. We will be here for 2 minutes. Good. Good. Slowly inhale to find your way back to the center. Let go of your left leg so that your both legs are down on the mat. Come into a neutral spine. Now bring your right knee to the chest. Hug the knee in first. Gently squeeze it toward your chest. And now drop the knee to the left. You could support the lower back, the lower leg on a pillow, on a cushion, and open your right arm. Bringing the gaze to your right hand. You can rest your gaze to one object, but you could also close your eyes if you like. knowing that in stillness, in silence, we can take the chance to observe any sensation or any response of your body to the practice. Any sign of the body fine-tuning our awareness, our perception, our listening by observing and hence by being present. All right. Good. Slowly find your way back to the center. Good. And find your Shavasana, your final resting pose, corpse pose. We will be here for about 5 minutes. You can grab a blanket. You can make yourself comfortable. You can place a sort of support below the back of the knees, whether it's your blocks or a cushion or books. And close your eyes when you're ready. Have your palm facing up with your arms next to the body. And have your feet as wide as your mat. And let the toes drop to the side, to the corners of your mat. Notice the connection, the point of contacts of your body with the earth. And give a little bit more weight to those spots, to those parts of the body that are in contact with the earth. Maybe you can use the mantra, I'm safe now, I can relax. I'm safe now, I can relax. Repeating it in your mind's head. And notice what happens when you repeat it. If there is any response. I am safe now, I can relax. Imagining your body becoming heavier and heavier with each exhale. Slowly find your way to come back, maybe by taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take as many of those as you like. And slowly begin to find movements in your toes, in your fingers. Maybe moving the head from side to side. Maybe stretching the arms overhead. Drawing your knees to your chest. Rolling to one side. And slowly finding your way to seated so that we can close the practice. Good. Let's join the palms. Bring the thumbs to the forehead to breathe in. And we bow to our practice. Namaste. And you rise again to breathe in. And this time we bow to our friends. Namaste, honoring their practice. Okay, well done. Thank you all for joining. So I've shared in the chat here, but also in the Facebook group, we have the journaling prompts. Just a little bit of a reflection about what is grounding for you, what practices do you incorporate in your routine to help you ground. And then you're welcome to share in the Facebook group. Some people have been sharing their beautiful intention and insights, but of course you don't have to. And yeah, again, a pleasure to share the practice with you. Thank you for today. And I'll see you on Tuesday for another class. If you're not in the Facebook group, send me a message and I'll send you the link. Bye.